Hi everybody, in this week's success series we're going to be talking about your friends slowing you down. It's hard to say this, but sometimes you really have to evaluate your friendships and think about, okay, is this friend really helping me get to my next goal in life? Not necessarily doing something for you, but are they going somewhere in their life? For me, there were a lot of people that I went to college with that I started with and I didn't finish with, meaning that they dropped out, um, they finished after me, or they still are in college or still trying to figure out their way. And not to say that it's a bad thing, but you have to make sure that you are looking out for yourself. And sometimes that gets hard when you become really close to people because you want to see them succeed and you want to see them do well. But you also have to think about, like, how is this person impacting me, and are they slowing me down in my success process? So I'm going to give you guys a scenario. So let's just say you have a friend and you both started college at the same time and you met them at school, so it's not somebody that you went to high school with, but you guys just get super close. And next thing you know, this person stops going to class, they stop doing their homework, they just want to work and they just want to party. And you're like, okay, but I kind of got some homework to get done, so I'm going to catch you later. And, when I'm ready to go party, or when I'm ready to just go to work, or whenever, when you're ready to not be doing something that's necessarily productive in that moment in time, then you can call them. Because you really have to think about it. If they're not being productive and you're constantly being around them, like, people always try to say birds of a feather don't flock together, but they really do. Like, if you really think about it, because there are a lot of people who I surround myself with who are goal oriented, who are like minded as me. So they're like, okay, how can I? It's almost like a race with me and my friends. Like, okay, who's gonna do something good next? Like, and that's how it should be. It shouldn't be like, okay, they're at the back of the race and you're continuously moving forward. And not to say that it's not even a race, it's a marathon. But they're at the back of the marathon and you're continuously moving forward and, doing great things. And then next thing they're still at the starting point and you're like 2 miles in. And next thing you know, you're 4 miles in. And the next thing you're at the finish line of this marathon called college, and they're still at the starting point, and you're just like, but we started together, like, what happened? And yes, you should be encouraging to your friends, you should be supportive of your friends, but sometimes you just have to know when to be supportive, when to be encouraging, and when to kind of like move and maneuver in your own path. Because sometimes those friends that slow you down, they don't understand why you're trying to be where you're trying to be, or why you're doing so much to be to the next step. And sometimes that gets frustrating trying to re-explain to them, like, okay, no, I really need to go do my homework, like, I really need to go study for this exam. And they're like, you could just do that later. And sometimes you're like, you know what, you're right, I could just do that later. And sometimes you need to really say, like, no, I can't do that later. So if you have those friends that come into your life that are like that, you just need to say, okay, what am I gaining from this friendship? Gaining meaning, like, how is this positively affecting me in my marathon throughout college? Is it hindering my success? If the answer is yes, not to say that you shouldn't be their friend anymore, but you should definitely reconsider, like, what kind of friendship that you want with them. Should it just be surface level friendship? Should that friend just be somebody that you just hang out with on the weekends? Should that just be somebody that you pick up the same shift as them because you really enjoy their company, they're funny, whatever the case may be? Make sure that person is making a impact in your life, and make sure they're making a positive impact in your life. Like, you don't want to have friends that you can't call on for anything. Like, I know that some people have multiple groups of friends. Like, you have friends you can party with, you have friends you can study with, you have friends that you can go out of town with. Like, you have different groups of friends, but you always need those friends who can kind of be a mixture. So I have friends that I can party with, I can study with, I can go out of town with. And for me, that's kind of what I need, because it's like, okay, we can have fun together, but we can also be serious and realize, okay, it's time to get back to business. And that kind of helps keep me pushing forward, kind of helps keep me motivated, because it's like, okay, this person is doing this, like, man, I'm so proud of them. They're doing so good. I want to make sure that they're proud of me too. I want them to be able to say, like, I'm so proud of my friend. My friend is doing this. Like, I brag about my friends all the time, and I can't brag about somebody who's not going anywhere. I can't just be like, oh yeah, like, they dress really nice. Like, that's not an accomplishment. You need to be able to say, like, yeah, my friend, they just passed their math exam. Like, that's something little, but you just never know who needs to hear that. Like, man, what? I need help with my exam. Maybe they can help me. Maybe they can be my tutor or something. Like, those little pieces and aspects of a friendship can really make or break you. And something else I notice about friendships, you kind of have to evaluate where people come from. Meaning that if that person doesn't come from a background where their family, everybody in their family went to college, are you willing to be a good friend to them? In good meaning, are you willing to kind of give them that necessary extra push so to help them like get on track and stay on track? Because if you are, you have to also realize like that could take a burden on you. Like that could kind of be stressful for you. Like, oh man, like I didn't really want to take this on. But if you're really invested in your friend's success, then it won't be a burden for you. It'll be like, okay, man, I want to make sure that my friend is doing well. Like, I know right now I'm doing well. Let me help them for a minute. Let me help them get successful. Like, for me, I'm constantly telling my friends, like, okay, so what's next for you? Meaning, what's next in the sense that, okay, you passed your math exam. Are you ready for the next exam? Like, did you pass because you studied? Did you not study? Like, how did you get that to that place so that, you know, you can continuously think about those things? Or if my friends say they have a goal for themselves, like, for example, if a friend says, I want to open up a business, do you start talking to them about their business ideas and say, hey, like, you know, you need to get an EIN number, you need to do all these different things to make sure that your business is successful? Or are you the friend that just says, oh, okay, that's real cool, like, you don't want friends in your life like that, and you don't want to be that friend to somebody else. And if you don't realize that in the beginning, then that becomes really hard for you to realize in the end, and you're kind of just in this state where, like, man, you're really close to this person. You don't want to just let the friend down, but at the same time, they're kind of hindering your success. One of the things I also think that'll help you with when you're in college is to make sure that some of these friends that you're going to be associating yourself with have their own like personality. They don't want to be you. They want to be themselves. And I mean that to say, like, you don't want to get around your friend and they're constantly trying to fit in with wherever you go, because then it becomes like super awkward when you're making all these plans and they don't really know how to make these plans, because that's not really who they are. And yeah, you can help them and say like, oh yeah, you can do this, you can do this idea, I have 3 or 4 ideas for you, but then they have to kind of make that on their own. Like, you can only push people so far, and you can only push people so much until they have to realize, like, I got to get myself together because my friend is going to leave me. And, you know, you could be a motivation for them and say, like, let me just make sure that I am A-okay, that I'm getting my stuff done, I'm getting my work done, because I want to make sure that this friend is going to be there and support me. And, you know, if you don't have that, then you kind of just need to just let that friend go. Like, it's just that simple, because in the end, you came in this world by yourself. Like, I'm sorry to say that, but you have to just be realistic with yourself. And if people are hindering you from growing, if people are hindering you from being successful, if people are hindering you from not making it to the top person that you can be, then you need to make sure that they are not in your inner circle, because that will definitely be a hindrance to you and to your success, and you don't want that in your life. If you have any questions about what I think about, you know, certain friendships, or just you want to talk about advice about friendships and what do you do if you feel like your friend is slowing you down, you can always email me at info@alexisuniversity.com. Thank you so much for watching this video this week, and I hope to see you all soon.